Welcome back to the channel, US Rare Coins News, Top 1. Today we are looking at a coin that millions of people have seen, but very few people realize could actually be worth far more than $1. The 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar was made to celebrate America's 200th birthday, and most people think it's just a big, heavy coin from the 1970s. But here's the surprising part. Some of these coins have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on the variety, condition, and rare mint errors, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for on your own coin, including a small detail many people miss that could make a huge difference in value. First, take a close look at the coin itself. If you have one nearby, grab it for a second. On the front of the coin you'll see the familiar portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, facing left. The word Liberty curves around the top, and beneath Eisenhower's neck you'll see the dual date, 1776 to 1976, marking the bicentennial of the United States. Now flip the coin over. This is where it gets interesting. Instead of the normal eagle design used on earlier Eisenhower dollars, the bicentennial version shows the Liberty Bell in front of the moon. It's a powerful image connecting America's independence with the space age. The design was created by artist Dennis R. Williams, whose artwork won a national competition. When you show this part in the video, use a slow close-up shot of the reverse. Let the camera move gently across the Liberty Bell and the moon. Many viewers have never noticed how detailed this design actually is, but here's the big question most collectors ask: why would a $1 coin ever be worth hundreds or even thousands? The answer comes down to three things: mint location, silver content, and rare errors. Most bicentennial Eisenhower dollars were made for circulation in copper-nickel. These were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. They're common, and many are still worth around $1 to $5 depending on condition, but another version was struck in 40% silver at the San Francisco Mint. These were made mostly for collectors and sold in special sets. If you have one of those silver versions in excellent condition, the value can jump quickly. Some pristine examples have sold for well over $100, and certified high-grade coins have reached several hundred at auction. Now here's where things get even more exciting. Some bicentennial Eisenhower dollars have mint errors. Collectors look for doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. These errors are rare, and when they appear on such a large coin, they're easy to see. Imagine finding one of these in an old coin jar. There are also special high-grade specimens graded by professional services like Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company. When a bicentennial Eisenhower dollar grades at the very top of the scale, collectors compete hard for them. In fact, a near-perfect example has sold for over $1,000 at auction. And certain silver-proof versions regularly sell for anywhere between $20 and a few $100 depending on quality. So the next time you see one of these large dollar coins, don't assume it's just pocket change. Check the mint mark, look at the condition, and inspect the details carefully. You might be holding a piece of American history that collectors are still searching for. Now I'm curious. Do you already own a 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar, and if you could add any rare coin to your collection, which one would it be? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And before you go, take another look at this coin. A design celebrating 200 years of American history, a unique Liberty Bell and moon reverse, and the possibility of hidden value depending on the version you have. Top 2. Today we are looking at a coin that many people have held in their hands, but almost nobody stops to ask if it could actually be worth far more than $1. The 1974 D. Eisenhower dollar might look like just another big, heavy coin from the 1970s. But here's the surprising part. Certain examples of this coin have sold for hundreds of dollars, and rare error versions have caught the attention of serious collectors around the world. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what makes this coin special, the details you should check immediately, and one small feature that could turn an ordinary coin into something collectors are willing to pay real money for. Take a close look at the coin. If you have one nearby, bring it out and follow along. On the front, you'll see the bold portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, facing left. The word Liberty stretches across the top edge, and the year 1974 sits just below the portrait. The design is simple but powerful, honoring the former president and World War II leader. Now turn the coin over. The reverse shows a striking design inspired by the Apollo space missions. An eagle is landing on the moon, holding an olive branch, with Earth floating in the distance. This design was created by Frank Gasparo, and it was originally inspired by the mission patch from Apollo 11. Show a slow close-up of the reverse here. Let the camera glide across the eagle and the moon's surface. The detail on this large coin is something many people never notice. Now here's where the story gets interesting. This specific coin was minted in Denver, which is why you'll see a small D mint mark near the date. Millions were produced, so most examples are fairly common, but collectors know something many people don't. The real value often depends on condition and rare mint errors. Some 1974 D Eisenhower dollars show doubled letters in the inscriptions. Others have off-center strikes or unusual die cracks that collectors actively search for. Because this coin is large, those errors can be easier to spot compared to smaller coins. Imagine going through a jar of old coins and suddenly noticing the letters in Liberty look slightly doubled. That tiny detail could turn a regular coin into a collectible one. Another factor is condition. Many of these coins circulated heavily in the 1970s, so finding one with sharp details and clean surfaces is surprisingly difficult. When collectors submit high-quality examples to grading services like Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company, the highest-grade coins can become very desirable. Here's something most people don't realize: the Eisenhower dollar was actually the last large-sized dollar coin ever made for regular circulation in the United States. After this series ended, the government switched to smaller dollar coins. That alone gives the Eisenhower dollar a special place in coin history. Now let's talk about value. A typical circulated 1974 D Eisenhower dollar is usually worth around $1 to $5 depending on condition. Uncirculated examples with strong details can sell for $10 to $30, but when you get into high-grade certified coins, the numbers change quickly. Some top-quality examples have sold for several $100s at auction. Rare error versions can also bring strong prices depending on the type and visibility of the mistake. So if you ever find one of these coins in a collection, a coin jar, or even an old drawer, take a moment to inspect it carefully, check the mint mark, look closely at the lettering, and pay attention to the condition. You might discover something collectors are still searching for. Now I want to hear from you. Do you already own a 1974 D Eisenhower dollar, or have you ever found an interesting coin hiding in your change? Top 3. Today we are looking at a coin that many people once used like ordinary pocket change, yet some examples of it have sold for hundreds of dollars. And the surprising part is that many people still have this coin sitting in jars, drawers, or old collections without realizing what it could be worth. The coin is the 1971 D Eisenhower Dollar. At first glance it looks like a simple, oversized dollar coin from the 1970s. But stay with me, because in the next few minutes you'll see why collectors pay serious attention to this coin, what rare details you should check immediately, and how certain versions have sold for far more than $1. So let's take a close look at it together. Hold the coin up to the camera. Let the viewer really see the size of it. Compared to modern coins, it's huge and heavy. On the front, you'll see the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower. His profile faces left, with the word Liberty stretching across the top. The year 1971 appears below the portrait, and if you look carefully beside the date you'll see a small D. That tiny letter tells us the coin was minted in Denver. Now slowly flip the coin over. The reverse design is one of the most interesting in American coin history. It shows a powerful eagle landing on the surface of the moon, holding an olive branch, with the Earth visible in the distance. This design was created by Frank Gasparo, and it was inspired by the mission patch from Apollo 11. If you're editing this video, this is a great moment for a slow zoom across the eagle and the moon's surface. The details on this big coin are impressive, especially when you look closely. Now here's something many people don't realize: the Eisenhower dollar was introduced in 1971 to honor President Eisenhower and to celebrate America's achievements in space exploration. It also became the last large-sized dollar coin made for circulation in the United States, but even though millions were minted, not all of them are the same. Some 1971 D Eisenhower dollars have interesting mint errors. Collectors sometimes find doubled lettering, die cracks, or coins struck slightly off-center. Because the coin is so large, those small differences can stand out clearly. Imagine examining the letters in Liberty and noticing they appear slightly doubled. That tiny detail can turn a normal coin into a collectible one. Condition also plays a huge role. most of these coins were heavily used in casinos, banks, and everyday transactions during the 1970s. Because of that, many examples today show scratches, dull surfaces, or worn details. Finding one that still looks sharp and clean is much harder than people expect. When collectors discover a beautiful example and send it to grading services like Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company, the highest grade coins can become surprisingly valuable. And here's where things get interesting. While many circulated 1971 Eisenhower dollars are worth only a few dollars, pristine coins with exceptional quality can sell for much more at auction. Collectors compete for the very best examples because they're difficult to find. Now let's talk about the real market value. A typical circulated 1971 Eisenhower dollar usually sells for about $1 to $3. Uncirculated examples in nicer condition can sell for $10 to $30, but coins graded at the very highest levels have sold for several $100s at auction, especially when the surfaces are nearly perfect and the details are razor sharp. That's why collectors still check these coins carefully today. So the next time you see a big old dollar coin in a collection or coin jar, don't ignore it. Look for the year 1971. Check for the D mint mark, examine the lettering and the eagle on the reverse. You might be holding a piece of history that collectors are still searching for. Now I want to ask you something. Do you own a 1971 Eisenhower dollar, or have you ever discovered an interesting coin hiding in your change? Top 4. Today we are looking at a coin that many people once treated like ordinary pocket change, but a few of these coins have quietly sold for hundreds of dollars, and most people have no idea why. The coin is the 1972 Eisenhower dollar. At first glance it just looks like a big, heavy coin from the 1970s. But hidden in the details are features collectors still search for today, and one small difference could make a major impact on value. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for on this coin, the rare mistakes that collectors hunt for, and why some of these Eisenhower dollars end up selling for far more than their face value. So let's take a close look. Hold the coin up to the camera and let the light hit it. These coins are much larger than modern coins, and that size alone makes them stand out immediately. On the front you'll see the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower. His profile faces left, with the word Liberty stretched across the top edge. Just below the portrait is the year 1972, and next to it you'll notice a small letter D. That tiny mark tells us the coin was minted in Denver. Now flip the coin over slowly. The reverse design is one of the most fascinating in modern American coinage. It shows an eagle descending onto the moon while holding an olive branch. In the background you can see the Earth floating in space. The design was created by Frank Gasparo, and it was inspired by the mission insignia from Apollo 11. If you're editing this video, this is the perfect moment for a slow close-up shot moving across the eagle and the lunar surface. Many viewers have never noticed how detailed this design actually is. Now here's where things start getting interesting. The Eisenhower Dollar series began in 1971, and it became the last large dollar coin struck for everyday circulation in the United States. Millions were made, but not all of them are the same. Some 1972 Eisenhower dollars show mint errors that collectors love to find. These can include doubled lettering, small die cracks, or slightly off-center strikes. Because the coin is so large, even small mistakes can stand out clearly. Imagine looking closely at the letters in Liberty and noticing they appear doubled, almost like a shadow behind the letters. That kind of detail can catch a collector's attention immediately. Another thing collectors pay close attention to is the condition. Most Eisenhower dollars spent years in circulation, bouncing around in banks, casinos, and pockets during the 1970s. That means many examples today have scratches, dull surfaces, and worn details. Finding one with sharp edges and bright surfaces is much harder than people expect, and when a really nice coin is discovered, collectors often send it to professional grading companies like Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company. Those services examine the coin carefully and assign a grade based on condition. The higher the grade, the more collectors are willing to pay. Here's something surprising. While many 1972 Eisenhower dollars are common, top-quality examples are actually difficult to find. Coins that look almost perfect after more than 50 years can attract strong interest at auctions. Now let's talk about real market value. A typical circulated 1972 Eisenhower dollar usually sells for around $1 to $3. A nice uncirculated example can sell for roughly $10 to $30 depending on the quality, but coins graded at the very highest levels have sold for several $100s at auction. And certain error coins can also bring higher prices depending on how visible and unusual the mistake is. So the next time you see one of these large dollar coins, take a moment to inspect it closely, check the year, look for the small D mint mark, examine the lettering and the eagle on the reverse. You might discover something collectors are still searching for. Now I'm curious. Do you own a 1972 D Eisenhower dollar, or have you ever found an unusual coin hiding in your change or in an old coin jar? Tell me in the comments. I always enjoy hearing the stories collectors share, and if you enjoy discovering coins that could be hiding unexpected value, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the next video where we reveal another coin that many people overlook but collectors are still hunting for today.